What up, everybody? It's the Spinion.
Spinion.
Yeah, we back and we being consistent. You thought you was gonna count us out, but we here. Make sure that you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you tell everybody else about it, because it's going down and it's going to try to be even more consistent coming with the months coming up, especially with this basketball season getting hot and heavy. College is coming too, so that's going to be real big. So we about to get this going. It's the Spinion. I'm Ice.
Rico.
Looking a little different today, ain't he? Just a little bit, like somebody took their hair off, man. They ain't even tell a brother. Good. This is Spinion. Let's get it going. Alright, we're going to start off with the NFL. We're going to not really dissect it as much, but we're going to kick it off with the NFL with the cream of the crop. Seems like the top teams are starting to come up and show themselves strong.
Absolutely.
While the weaker teams don't look as good as... Yeah, the NFL is kind of, you got some teams doing really good, some teams doing really bad. It's some contending teams in the middle of the pot with about 9 weeks left to go in the season. My cream of the crop right now is the Patriots, the Saints. They seem to be like the cream of the crop. Of course, the 49ers.
My Super Bowl pick.
Right, the 49ers, I keep telling y'all.
My sleeper pick.
Don't sleep on them. And they just got a big old acquisition. They got Emmanuel Sanders.
I like that pick up for them. They need some help in the past.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I don't know about them.
I think my thing with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers might just come from the narrative that's around the team.
Right.
I think if we can take a step back and just assess the Green Bay Packers for what they're doing this year instead of this idea, or what we saw in the last game that Aaron Rodgers what he pulled off. It was against the Raiders, but
right.
Those big numbers. They have a really good defense. They have a new offense. They're gonna be there in the end, and that's what we found out.
Aaron Rodgers seems to always keep them in the game because of what he can do.
I feel like to me the defense is what's keeping them in the game. They have a defense this year. They have a solid running game this year.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers really hasn't produced at a high level this year. That last game was his first time having, an Aaron Rodgers-esque game or whatever. I'm just, this whole narrative that it's okay for Aaron Rodgers to, just have a big game, one out of every 5.
Right.
But, every time, Brady doesn't throw 3 touchdowns, it's like, he's getting older, he needs to retire is the thing that I don't really appreciate
I really, like you said, I hear what you're saying, and I don't trust their defense because I don't know if they played a lot of teams are now embarking on the big part of their schedule where they go against the other top tier teams. And I think that's what we're going to find out.
Oh, for sure. We're going to see, and we've already seen them the defense not produce at the level that they started off at the top of the year.
Right.
But what we can say for sure is that Green Bay actually has a legit defense this year and a legit running game. And Aaron Rodgers hasn't had that for since he won his last Super Bowl there. So
okay. Well, now I want to bring up some teams to you guys' attention that people might be sleeping on, but are actually having a pretty good year. Like one is the Colts.
The Colts, I felt like people shouldn't have slept on them. Period.
Even with the Andrew Luck retirement.
It's one of those things. My thing was this: Andrew Luck didn't really play last year.
Absolutely.
They were a decent team last year.
Yeah.
They were right on that bubble. So this is their second year with Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback.
Right.
And they have all of the from offense to defense to
run game. Yeah.
They're ready. They're a complete team.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
They're for real.
Another team that's sleeping on folks because of their defense is Buffalo.
Buffalo has a great defense.
Yes, they
Buffalo
do.
has a top defense. The defense is only going to get better at home and at Buffalo with the temperatures about to go down as we go into winter.
Yeah, you don't want to play in Buffalo.
But their offense is just severely limited.
Right.
They won't win any big games. They won't win any big games. They will beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. There'll be a challenge for the better teams that go out there and play. And
you think they can hold on to get a wild card?
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly.
Okay. Another team that is sparking up the boards is the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, the jury's I guess the jury's out in some people's circles. I've always liked him. I liked him when he was at Louisville. I thought he was a good player. The comparisons to Michael Vick are valid. But
Michael Vick, Kaepernick, I think all of those comparisons are valid.
Yeah,
one thing that I feel about when you have a running quarterback, those first 2 or 3 years are the years where you still kind of catching the league off guard. You have an opportunity to win, even though they aren't. You can't expect them to throw for over 150 yards a game, you know, but you're kind of mixing it up.
Right.
It's still new and fresh, you know. So this year they're still getting past a few teams, and then we are seeing them fall short, you know, against teams that they should beat.
Right. But that big win in Seattle, at Seattle, that was big.
The Ravens defense came out of nowhere. You know, like we were waiting. You know, you expect them to have a great defense.
Yeah, they usually.
But then all of a sudden, it's almost one of those things where you're watching and you're like, all right, is this just Seattle kind of, you know, progressing to the mean? Or is this Baltimore's defense finally coming to life and showing us what we expect from them?
Right. So then you got the tweener teams, the Rams and the Cowboys. The Rams just picked up a win against Atlanta, which is not a big thing. Speaking of Atlanta, just an offshoot, the Mohamed Sanu by the Patriots.
Oh, man.
Just the Patriots fan right there. What do you think?
Great pickup.
He fits the system.
Fits the system as a personality, as a person, as a football player. High IQ, great route runner. Very, very physical as a wide receiver. I love physical wide receivers. Great size. Bigger wide receiver. He's a great pickup for them. But and because he's used to being that number 2 receiver, you don't have to worry about the ego. Let's make sure we get him his touches, all of these things. He's gonna come right in, fit right in the system. It's exactly what Tom Brady needed for that passing game. Exactly what he needed.
Now let's go back to the tweener team, the Cowboys. Do we need to pay Dak?
Man, listen.
Do we need to pay Dak Prescott? I mean, I think time to get some money.
You have to pay Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott don't want to sign his contract. They don't offer the man what he's worth.
Yeah,
that's just the reality.
Does he want more?
He's trying to press the line. Yes.
He's trying to get more.
He's trying to get
He's
more. Trying to push it towards 40 million.
He's on my fantasy team.
This is my problem with Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys fans. Because here we are.
I'm not a fan, so let me just put your spin on it.
But here we are.
Please, let him put the spin on it.
We don't even have our Dallas Cowboys.
Right. No. They lost.
Because listen, man. Listen. Right now, we're discussing a team barely over 500.
Barely
over 500. And this is...
Lost to the Jets.
And, since Dallas Cowboys have won those Super Bowls, this is what we have come to expect from the Dallas Cowboys. They are a 500 football team.
Yes.
And I'm tired of hearing that a 500 football team are Super Bowl contenders.
Right.
Just because, they're in the NFC and the fan base. I'm tired of hearing that. They're not Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
Them and the Philadelphia Eagles are taking a step back this year. Mm-hmm. They aren't going to be consistent. We can expect Dallas to be Dallas.
Right.
And the slogan for them for years has been, what can go wrong will go wrong.
The blessing with Dallas,
there are accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, the blessing, you still got to play the Giants again, which will give you a win. You still got to play the Redskins again, which will give you a win.
Maybe you beat the Giants again, but maybe you don't. Maybe. Didn't they just lose to the Jets?
Yeah,
wasn't that supposed to be a win?
It was supposed to be.
This is the Dallas Cowboys. Just wait. And I know y'all, they have talent at every position. I get it, but they are an inconsistent, immature team. It's never gonna change. I feel like the fact that I have to say Cowboys and they are literally one game over 500 because they beat another 500 team and now they lead their division, it just makes me sick. But it's like we have to talk about them.
Absolutely makes me sick too. It's a form of entertainment for some. Yeah, let's move on to the QB crop. Like, we know about Aaron Rodgers, we know about Tom Brady, we know about some of these quarterbacks, but there's a new school of quarterbacks coming, and I'm particularly happy about it because they are African American quarterbacks, and that is Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, and Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They seem to be up and coming. They seem to be doing some very good. Deshaun Watson is off the chain.
Yeah, he's been ready for years. They've had one of the worst offensive lines for years. very hard for him to stay healthy behind that offensive line they have at the Texans.
Right.
You know, sometimes the most frustrating thing to me about these franchises is that they go with the same weaknesses from year to year, and then they just continue to expect the quarterbacks to continue to produce at the same level.
You know, crazy plays.
It's like, come on, man, invest in some offensive linemen and let's get this. And you know, and we be talking about him. Well, I am, but the whole world will be talking about him in the same breath as they do with Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I feel like they kind of put him in a box and talk about you got to be a pocket passer, but if the pocket is collapsing, you got to be able to still run out the pocket.
Absolutely. But the problem with it, it's almost like a catch-22 when you have a bad line and they say you need to be a pocket passer, but you can't stay in the pocket. But every time you leave that pocket, there you go. Patrick Mahomes left the pocket.
Right. Now he's
there you go.
Now his knee all jacked up. Right.
But
he didn't lead on that. That was the worst call.
Well, I feel like, in my opinion, football is a battle of attrition. It's over time. Every time you leave that pocket, you put yourself at risk.
Absolutely.
Like, you may get away with it 50, 51 times, 100 times, but then those hits start to accumulate.
Right.
Oh, your ankle a little weak here. Yeah. This is a little weak there. Then from week to week, the next thing you know, you do a quarterback sneak, and boom, you missing weeks. You know,
that's the nature of the beast. I just like the fact that, like, for instance, I'm gonna go with Jacoby Brissett. You know, everybody thought the Indianapolis postseason was done, and we alluded to it earlier, but I'm still saying I like what he's doing over there. He ain't talking crazy. Well, he ain't saying anything. He's just letting his game speak for itself.
You're welcome, Indianapolis coach.
Oh, God,
he learned the Patriots way. He studied under Tom Brady.
Yeah,
he saw that work ethic that comes with it. And one thing you have to say about Bill Belichick is that he's not a quarterback whisperer by any means. He doesn't get that hands-on with it, but he does very well in helping quarterbacks develop.
Absolutely.
They are all over the league. We have Brissett, we have Garoppolo, and he does a great job at developing those quarterbacks that play behind Tom Brady. And you know, because the rumor is always he's trying to replace Tom Brady. But Jacoby is continuing in that vein, and you know the Indianapolis Colts are.
I think he really does help them understand defenses. And Belichick being a defensive guru for all the years before he became a head coach, and I think that helps the quarterback. I think a lot of times you have these coordinators that basically run one part of the thing, but I think Belichick runs the whole gamut. He just wants to he approves things, whereas some coaches like the one in Dallas, Garrett, I think he's just a manager.
I feel like those coaches are managers, but a lot of it is just the way the Patriots are clearly as an organization ahead of everybody.
Right.
And I think because that standard of preparation is if you a quarterback, I don't care. They probably don't care whether or not you're going to play or not.
Right.
Your level of preparation has to be
the same
as
if you're going to play. Right. Absolutely.
So you're going to carry that with you from organization to organization. You're welcome, San Francisco 49ers. You're welcome, Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Both of you are doing beautifully.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Kudos to you. Yeah. Let's move on to the NBA. Going down. Everything is important. It's on the line. I don't know. It's the first of 82, but just you kind of get a segue into what you're gonna, maybe expect from your teams coming on. So let's do this. We've done our awards. We've done our Final Four in the NBA. Let's pick our starting five. You know, we do our five every week. Our starting five. And my point guard is Curry. I had a toss-up between Curry and Dame Lillard. And Dame, man, he off the chain, but the Curry shooting is just that ridiculous that, he had to be the man for me. Plus his accolades and his championship pedigree, I went with Curry.
My starting point guard this year, since LeBron has announced to the world during his post-game press conference that he was indeed playing point guard, and he is indeed the starting point guard for the Lakers. My starting five point guard is going to be Mr. LeBron James.
Okay, here goes my problem with LeBron James. I know he has the skill set. I know he can play the point guard. He passes out the wazoo. He like to be a pass first guy. I think that hurts the Lakers for this year because he has to be aggressive and wanting to score. Now, if he can find that happy balance, meaning when you're going to the basket, you look off, you draw, then you kick. But not when you try to set up plays.
Absolutely.
You don't get back to yourself.
Absolutely.
So I think he's going to have to find that happy balance. I'm cool with you being a point guard, LeBron, if you look to score first?
I think what happened, I think what I saw, because I was kind of down on it too, but I think what's going on is not only is it a new team, a new offensive system, but, you know, LeBron has played kind of consistently the same basketball minutes for the last over a decade.
Okay.
You know, and now his minutes were different. He was playing at different times in the game and coming out, coming in. I think it's a matter of just understanding time, game situation, what he needs to do at different times for different lineups that are in the game. You know, it wasn't time to get people involved.
Right, like for instance, if Rondo's in the game, you go get buckets for him.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Okay,
I got you. He almost probably shouldn't even be playing with Rondo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like if it's Jared Dudley, KCP, Dwight Howard, and bro, we need you to get downhill.
Absolutely.
And when you get into the paint, we need you looking to score.
Absolutely.
You know
that's what happens with a lot of guys when they try to transition to that point guard level.
Yeah.
They feel like they got to get everybody involved.
You saw a lot of
we want you to be a shoot first.
A lot of being flat-footed. A lot of just but basketball is a rhythm game.
Right.
It's clear that rhythm wasn't there. Stepping into those 15-foot jump shots, 10-foot pull-ups, floaters, things of that nature. I'm expecting those things to get better. What I did like with him at the point guard, with the way the lineup was, you literally had no choice but to put Patrick Beverley on him. And I'm here to announce to the NBA that that's not going to work very well.
Right.
You got to have point guard LeBron.
And see, that's what I'm saying. If you got Patrick Beverley on you and I'm the point guard, I'm throwing it and I'm going to the post, you're going to drop it to me and I'm going to look to score. Or I'm going to look to draw the double team. I'm going to get as deep as I can because he can't body me up. And then make that pass. But I don't want you taking the ball on the wing and looking for cutters and everything like that. When I got Patrick Beverley, what am I looking for?
Just not getting downhill, not being aggressive, not playing basketball. One thing about LeBron is he's always played point guard. I'm glad that he's announcing that he's playing point guard.
Right.
The thing is, just be LeBron.
I recommend that LeBron watch, if you were any old film, Scottie Pippen and Larry Bird, you know what I'm saying, point forward type of situations where you're still a point guard or whatever, but sometimes you're being a point guard from a different position. You might not.
But that's what he's always done.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't need to approach the game any differently. Just be LeBron James. Just play LeBron James. Just be LeBron James.
Agreed.
Yesterday he was something different.
Right. Two guard. Who's our shooting guard?
He does do that.
I got Kawhi.
Shooting guard. For me, regard. I like Kawhi. I respect Kawhi's game, but as shooting guard, even though I talk a lot of trash about this player, it's gonna be James Harden.
On that team?
It's gonna be James Harden.
Now, mind you, this is your best five, so understanding that he would probably have to conform to the way that your team is playing.
Well, I'm not worried about how my team is playing. I'm not worried about how my team is playing. My philosophy is I want the best talent at the position. And I get, Kawhi's a great defender, one of the better two-way players in the league, period, bar none. But the thing about James Harden is that you can like it, you can hate it or love it. He will drop 40 in a preseason game very easily. He's always going to go to the line. And especially if we're talking about my starting five for an 82-game season, nobody's stopping James Harden. Okay. And it's the two guard position, and that's what I want out of my. We don't get that a lot in the league today. Just two guards that score the basketball. The real problem with James Harden is that he plays point guard a lot of times for Houston. He's playing the two, but he's constantly bringing the ball up, so nobody else is getting involved. Right. If on my team, LeBron is bringing the ball up, and then we're delivering the ball to James Harden. Do
you think he can play off the ball?
He's played off the ball before. Back in the time. But the problem, he will have no problem playing off the ball. He just doesn't play with anybody that he respects enough to defer to any way. If LeBron's on your team, LeBron's bringing the ball up. We've all seen the All-Star game, like James Harden to be on the team. Right? It doesn't matter. Like Durant's on the team, doesn't matter. If LeBron brings the ball up the court, he would be on the wing.
Okay, my small forward is LeBron. Like I said, I put him at his original position. I think he would work effectively there. So I got him at my three. Who you got at your three?
The player I'm putting at my three, I'm putting Kawhi at the three. Okay. I personally think Kawhi, to me, Kawhi guards bigger players more than he guards the shooting guard position. I've always looked at him as a small forward. Okay. I feel like that's what position he kind of played at San Antonio.
Right.
It wasn't until he went to
Toronto
that he started lining up at the 2. So he's my small forward.
Okay. My 4-man is Anthony Davis. And my 5 is Giannis. So
you playing Giannis at the center?
I'm playing Giannis at the center. So we running that thing. Anybody who gets it can take it down the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. My 4 is Anthony Davis. My 5 is Jokic. I think that what he brings to the game, and I just love that kind of game. To me, it's he's definitely stretching the floor, but it's an old school type of physicality that he brings to the game that I just love. I'm putting him at the 5. And
so you like Jokic better than Embiid?
I do.
Okay.
I do like Jokic better than Embiid. I was having this conversation the other day, and this is my problem with Embiid. Embiid is probably the biggest basketball player in the NBA when you count weight and all of those things. He has no back to the basket game. He's constantly turning and facing. And the problem with Embiid is if he's playing against a smaller center or a plotting center or a person with low basketball IQ, he dominates them. But as soon as you put him against a player who has comparable size, even if they're a little bit slower, like a Gasol, he shuts them down. Or you put him with a person who has a high basketball IQ but smaller, like Horford, shuts them down. You know what I mean? Like and that's only because he has none of this. He has no over the shoulder counter move. He's constantly turning and then sometimes he just disappears. He's way too big to have like quiet 30-point, 15 rebound games. He's like, oh, you look at the box score, like, oh yeah, 30 points and 15 rebounds. I didn't see any of that. And then he's constantly I don't think I'm ready to forgive him for trying to call off sick in game 6 in the morning. Gonna call your coach the morning of the game. I don't think I'm coming in the game.
I'm not giving him a pass because he cried
instead of hoop. It's like he didn't even hoop though, bro. And
I think he has a world of talent, but like you said,
world of talent. He dominates. He pick and chooses who he wants to dominate when he wants to put that spotlight on himself. He loves going against Drummond. He loves doing stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I got you. I understand, and I agree. The 2 on the bench for me, I had 2 subs. It would be Dame and Harden or whatever. For Harden, I just think, like I said, Harden, I think he would be effective in different places, but I think he would only be as effective as he is now in Houston with Mike D'Antoni. Any other places, he might be 20, maybe 23, because nobody would allow him to do that type of stuff. Just sit there and dribble 100 billion times. But coming off the bench, that'd be kind of slick, for my team. You know what I'm saying? So if this was my fantasy team, that would be my 5.
What I notice in basketball is that at some point the game always comes into this one-on-one type of thing.
It does.
At some point, you know what I mean?
But the one-on-one movement, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. But like I said, it's the problem is if he's coming, even if it was something as simple as a down screen before that happened, or a cross screen before that happened with another person bringing the ball up the court, it wouldn't hurt our, basketball appreciation brain.
Okay, so that's our starting 5. You let us know your starting 5 or whatever, who you think your 5 is, and maybe one day you'll put it on video game and you run your 5 against maybe our 5. I'm not gonna play because I really don't get into the video game. Let's talk about sleeper teams that might make some noise this year. I know a lot of people have picked the LA as a Western Conference Finals. The East, they're probably saying that it's Philly and Milwaukee. But there's some teams that I feel like can make some noise and possibly win a couple games and, get some confidence. One of those teams is Denver for me.
You feel like Denver is a sleeper?
I think Denver is nobody's expecting.
No, I'm hearing Denver a lot. I
just don't think. I don't know if Jamal Murray is ready to step into his role.
It's not just Jamal Murray. I feel like the problem is not a problem with Denver. It's actually something that Denver benefits from. But they have they're gonna have to package some of those players.
Absolutely. We said that last time.
Because Denver has one star player, and his name is Joker. He's the Joker. He is an absolute MVP candidate.
Absolutely.
All-star caliber player. Now, we weren't sure last year. Right. Can he do this in the playoffs?
Right.
Well,
he showed up.
He can, and he can play all 48 minutes, believe it or not, with that body. So he's ready for that. But then you just have that glutton of guards who are second and in between second and third.
Similar game.
Exactly.
Similar game.
And that's not gonna cut it. And so with Denver, the reason why people are starting to try to consider them and put them over the top because they feel like, Michael Porter Jr. is gonna come back and be able to step into that role that was his potential idea.
Absolutely.
But listen, he hurt his back. This is his first. You can't depend on a rookie.
No way, not him either.
Yes. So
he didn't even play in college.
And it's no way around it. If you don't have that marquee guard or that marquee wing player in today's NBA, you're not going to get over.
Well, see, that's why I said about Jamal Murray because they seem to want to defer to him.
Right. He wants it. He does. But to me, he just doesn't have the talent. He's one of those players. I have this philosophy about basketball players when it comes to playoff series. You have the basketball players that are going to give you 2 all-star level games, and then you have those that'll give you 3, and then you have those that'll give you 4. Now those are superstars. Right. The Kawhi. Right. Then you have a few that'll give you 3, and that's like the Kyrie Irving, people like that. But then you got players that'll give you 2, and it's been so many of those players. Right. And that's like a Jamal Murray. Remember David West years ago when he played for New Orleans Hornets? He would drop 30, 30, and then game 3 he would just vanish. He would be like,
even when he was with Indiana, against Miami, he would play two
great games, and then that's it. It's like I can't produce it for a time, and that's Jamal Murray. He's gonna be there in 2 of the games, and then the rest of the games he's gonna play more, closer to his or below his average, and not even play up to his average and what you expect from him. And you can expect that from him again this year. Lowry finally pushed himself to a 3-game player this year. But usually he was 2. Right. He gave you 3 this year. That's why they won game 6.
I think Lowry gave you 3 because of Kawhi and the focus on him and Siakam.
Yeah, and because Van Vliet took all of that pressure out.
Absolutely. Another sleeper team for me for the East is Boston. Because you lost Horford, you lost Kyrie, but Brad Stevens is still a good coach.
Wow, I'm out on Boston.
I understand, and I know why, but I still think, with the crux of the season, and the East isn't that strong.
I get that, but and Cantor didn't do bad defensively playing for Portland last year. But my real problem with that is Al Horford was the gas to that. He made that team work. He bought into that system. Right. They decided to play Jaylen Brown. For potential, Pascal deserved that, and you can see even in game 1 where that first game he fouled out, but he still dropped 34. That Jaylen Brown has bumped his head on that proverbial glass ceiling of his, like he is done, and he doesn't know it. He doesn't know his game.
What about Tatum though?
Tatum won't drop 30. It's the problem with Jason Tatum is that we expect for him to take this great leap, but he's just not taking it. Yeah. He's not taking it. It might not be there.
It might not be there, but my thing is don't count them out. I think that they got some nice pieces. I don't think Kemba Walker is the piece that's going to get him over the hump.
I like Kemba. I think he's going to be good.
He'll be great, but he's lacking that playoff experience that he might need. But I think they're just a sleeper. What I'm saying by that is they might sneak in to the Eastern Conference Final. You know what I'm saying? By beating them, because Milwaukee's not as strong as everybody thinks they are. And so what I'm saying, if you're gonna knock off a team, I think I'm going after Milwaukee before I go after the team.
I think Milwaukee
and even Toronto.
Milwaukee will surprise us. Milwaukee, they definitely lost. When they lost Brogdon. But the thing about Milwaukee that makes them a great team to me is it's the athleticism at those positions that you need. That level of athleticism, and people just can't match up with that.
People can't match up with it now, but the formula, I think Toronto gave everybody a formula.
But nobody else can do that formula. That formula was put Kawhi in front of Giannis.
Right.
And there isn't another Kawhi somebody to put in front of Giannis.
Okay. Hey, watch us. Comment, subscribe, like. This is the Spinion. It's going down. So please, watch us. We'll see y'all.